The evening sun bled over the horizon, painting the Texas plains in a deep crimson glow. The small town of Dry Creek was quiet, except for the occasional rattle of wagon wheels and the faint whine of a restless wind. Sheriff Cole Dawson stood outside the saloon, hat tilted low, his gaze fixed on the wooden doors that swung open and shut with the rhythm of men too drunk to care. He had seen his share of sorrow in this town, gamblers, thieves, and broken souls, but what he saw that night carved a scar he would never forget. A woman stumbled out of the saloon, clutching her torn shawl. Her face was swollen, one eye nearly shut, and her lip split. She looked like she'd been dragged through the dust and left for dead. Behind her, laughter echoed, cruel, male laughter. "That's what she gets for birthing 3 girls," someone jeered from inside. The words hit Cole like a bullet. He knew her, Mary Ellen Carter, the wife of Hank Carter, a ranch hand known for his temper and his whiskey. Cole had seen the bruises before, but each time, Mary had defended her husband. "He don't mean it, Sheriff," she'd whisper. "He just gets angry sometimes." But this time, there was no defense left in her eyes. Only silence. Cole took a slow step forward, his boots crunching against the dry dirt. "Mary," he said softly, "where's Hank?" She didn't answer, just shook her head, trembling. Her gaze darted to the ground like a frightened animal. Cole felt his blood boil. The people in the saloon turned away, pretending not to notice. In Dry Creek, everyone had their own troubles, and no one wanted to invite another man's fight. Cole knew better. Some fights were worth taking. He reached out, placing his hat back on his head. "You're coming with me," he said quietly. Mary's breath caught. "Sheriff, I can't. He'll kill me if I go." Cole looked straight into her eyes, the setting sun reflecting off the sheriff's badge pinned to his chest. "If you stay, he'll kill you slower." She hesitated, her hands twisting at the edge of her shawl. Then, with a shuddering breath, she nodded. Cole took her by the arm, gently, as though she might break, and led her to his horse, Dusty. The townsfolk watched in silence, their faces unreadable, some curious, others judging. No one dared speak. As Cole helped her mount, Mary whispered, "Why are you doing this?" He swung up beside her and looked out toward the open plains. "Because someone should have done it a long time ago," he said, voice low. The horse started forward, hooves thudding softly against the dirt road. Behind them, the lights of Dry Creek faded into the night. Ahead, only the dark horizon stretched, uncertain but free. And for the first time in her life, Mary Ellen Carter didn't feel afraid. She just held on tight as the lonely rancher led her away from the hell she once called home. The night air was cool and still, heavy with the scent of sagebrush and dust. Cole rode in silence, his eyes scanning the horizon while Mary clung to the saddle behind him. The road out of Dry Creek was long and empty, just the way he liked it. He'd spent years alone, tending his ranch miles from town, where the only sounds were wind and coyotes. But tonight, something felt different. For the first time in years, he wasn't alone. By dawn, they reached his ranch, a modest stretch of land fenced by weathered posts, with a barn that leaned slightly to one side. Cole dismounted first, then helped Mary down. She could barely stand, her legs trembling with exhaustion and fear. He handed her a blanket, guiding her inside the small wooden cabin. "Sit," he said, his voice quiet but firm. She obeyed, eyes darting around the room, a small bed, a pot of cold coffee, a Bible on the shelf. Everything smelled of tobacco and, "Hey." Cole lit the stove and poured her a cup of water. "You'll be safe here," he said. Mary's voice cracked. "There's no safe place from Hank. He'll come. He always does." Cole met her gaze. "Then he'll find me waiting." For days, Mary rested. The bruises faded, though the fear in her eyes didn't. She helped around the ranch, mending clothes, cooking simple meals, trying to fill the silence with small acts of normal life. Cole rarely spoke of his past, but when she asked, he told her the truth. Once, he had a wife and child, both lost in a fire started by outlaws. Since then, he'd lived alone, his heart as barren as the land he worked. Mary listened, tears glistening. "You still carry the pain," she whispered. He nodded. "Pain don't leave you. You just learn to live with it." One morning, the distant echo of hooves shattered the calm. Dust rose on the horizon, Hank Carter, drunk and furious, rifle in hand. Mary froze. "He found me." Cole stepped out onto the porch, rifle steady in his grip. "Stay inside," he told her. Hank dismounted, stumbling forward. "You think you can take my wife, Sheriff?" he shouted. She's mine. Cole's eyes hardened. She stopped being yours the day you broke her. Hank raised his gun, but Cole was faster. A single shot rang out, echoing through the empty valley. Hank fell, the rifle slipping from his grasp. The dust settled. Silence returned. Mary rushed outside, trembling. She looked at Hank's still body, then at Cole, and began to cry. But her tears weren't of grief. They were of release. Cole put a hand on her shoulder. "It's over now," he said softly. Days later, the sheriff buried Hank under an old oak tree, unmarked. Life at the ranch slowly returned to quiet rhythm. Mary stayed, tending the garden, mending fences, finding new purpose in the stillness. Cole never asked her to leave. And though they rarely spoke of love, it grew between them, steady and silent, like the sunrise over the plains. In the heart of the wild Texas land, two broken souls found peace. And for the first time, the lonely rancher wasn't lonely anymore.